Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Pondering Christianity. This week, we're going to dive into the perpetual nature of sin. We're going to go over three things today. What is it? Why is it relevant? What can we do about it? All right. Now, if you are new to the channel, here we tackle Christian apologetics, near-death experiences, deathbed visions, kind of anything that's in those ballparks we're kind of messing around with. So if you're into that kind of discussion and you want to get to know apologetics a little bit better, maybe you're a skeptic looking to engage into these conversations, welcome home. Hit that subscribe button. We're tackling topics like this every single week, and we can't wait for you guys to join. Without further ado, let us get into this week's topic. Okay, so let me start by saying I want to thank Christian. If you know who you are. Christian asked me to do this. This is a conversation that I've been meaning to have on the channel. However, he recently and I were having this conversation, and he urged me to make this video. So shout out to him. I know he'll be excited about that. So thanks to him, he felt like this would be beneficial to talk about. Now, the perpetual nature of sin. Like I said, we're going to cover what is it, why is it relevant, what can we do about it. What is it? Okay. Now, the perpetual nature of sin is very, very comprehensive in terms of explaining the fallen world principle. And so a lot of times we hear, the question of why do bad things happen to good people? This is part of the reason why we live in a fallen world. So in this example I have here, you've got Grandpa A or Father A, whatever figure you want to use here, being cruel to the boy, right? The boy grows up into his own father, grandfather figure, etc., and then he does the same thing to his son. And then this cycle continues on, cycle after cycle after cycle, right? Where these children grow up abused and therefore abused because that's what they know. This is the cycle that they know. And so this is an example of what a fallen world looks like. Okay, another example is how the fallen world perpetuates these disappointing encounters. So Grandpa A, who's over here on the left, is really mean to Grandpa B, and then he's mean to Grandpa C, and then he's mean to Grandpa D because the previous person was mean to them. They're now in a bad mood, and then they continue to be mean to other people because that person has put them in a bad mood, right? And so this is the perpetual nature of sin. It just continues to infect and infect and infect until it gets to the point of meeting someone who can make a decision to pass it along or to stop. Okay, or to stop the cycle. So this is friendly Joe, right? Friendly Joe here. He's giving some loving words back to the grandpa and saying, man, you don't got to be that way. I hope you have a fantastic day, right? And he manages to the buck stops with him. And then the next person he encounters, he puts that person in a good mood because he wasn't affected by the perpetual nature of the sin, right? Or by the bad deed or the transgression or however you want to phrase that. Now, he's in a good mood, but then he doesn't really pay it forward, if you will. He doesn't really move that behavior forward. And so the next person's just in a bad mood and, they want to be in a bad mood. And so then the cycle kicks up again. A infects B, B infects C, C infects D, until you get back down to here to good old Joe again, right? Good old Joe stops the cycle. And then now he's able to stop the cycle in a way that allows for all these people who are having good days to just continue to carry on having good days. Okay, and this is how sin works, right? This is the perpetual nature of sin. Is it has a tendency to just carry forward until someone has the ability to stop it. Let me give you an example, all right? We're going to do this test with you right now. Okay, clear your mind, all right? You're sitting there, you're just walking along, right? You're having a good old day, and then you have an encounter with someone who's just ridiculously rude to you, right? Ridiculously rude to you. They stand in front of you in line, they insult you, right? Maybe make some kind of a racist comment or something to really kind of agitate you, okay? Now, you're mad, okay? Is your first reaction to compliment them on how good they look today, or perhaps how kind they're being, right? Now, if you say yes, maybe it's in a satire way, right? Like where you're kind of, kind of poking at them a little bit by doing this, but you're not necessarily being sincere in complimenting them. And so what I'm pointing to is just that nature within us, that when someone's mean or cruel to us, we have a tendency to want to bring that back to them, right? And then carry that forward. And then not only that, not just give it back to them, but now we're in a bad mood and we leave the store, and maybe when we leave the store, we're just in this upset state, and in our upset state, our friend calls us with some bad news and they had nothing to do with it, and we snap on them because of this bad news, or we snap on someone we encounter, or someone maybe crosses us the wrong way, something that has just bad place, bad time, they just get caught in the wrong place, wrong time kind of thing. So this is what the fallen world is all about, and this is where the perpetual nature of sin and these two principles collide, is that with sin, it continues to infect and infect and infect in a way that will create this cataclysm of effects throughout the world, where maybe my bad day affects someone's bad day, 25, 30 days down the line of, I was mean to someone and then that person was mean to someone, and so on and so forth. It can go that far. You can track it that far. If you look at these actions and you look at how people can just quickly change moods and be negatively influenced by something, you can see the profound effect that your day-to-day can have on someone else's life. And so that's where you have Christianity enter into the scene to provide an answer of, we have to be the ones that are the positive Joe, right? The positive Joe in this example, good old Joe in this example. We're the ones who are meant to stop that cycle. So again, why is this relevant to apologetics? It's because it helps answer why bad things happen to good people, right? This poor kid had nothing to do with it, right? He was just being a kid, and he did something, got on that grandpa's nerves or that dad's nerves for that day, and then he received some form of abuse, emotional, physical, whatever type of abuse. Then he perpetuates that abuse when he's in that same position as a father or as a grandfather, and therefore the cycle only continues on. Right? Albeit it took 20, 30 years to manifest, but the cycle nonetheless continues on. And so it's up to this boy when he grows up if he wants to stop that cycle or not, right? And he needs to be aware of those factors affecting him. And that's kind of where Christ comes in to speak to us, okay? And he says in Matthew 5:14, "You are the light of the world, like a city on a hilltop that cannot be hidden. No one lights a lamp and then puts it under a basket. Instead, a lamp is placed on a stand where it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your good deeds shine out for all to see, so that everyone will praise your heavenly Father." I also put there a nice little line to let you know that he says everyone, and not just the people you think that are deserving of it, including those we deem undeserving. So Jesus is referring to our redeemed nature that is given to us through the Holy Spirit. He's referring to the fact that we need to be, the buck stops with us, right? We need to be the lamp that drives out the darkness in the people's day-to-day, their lights, our light needs to be a light in their life, okay? Now, if this sounds familiar, that's because it is, right? Because the great Martin Luther King Jr., who, by the way, was a great reverend in my opinion, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that, okay? He's hearkening back to what Jesus is talking about here when he's saying, look, darkness can't drive out darkness. We need people in the world being lamps, right? We need people in the world doing something different, right? Not just darkness just gets more darkness, okay? But light takes one light, break up all that. Just like I showed you my example earlier, right? That one guy breaks the cycle of these four guys, right? And then he gets one more guy to have a good day, but then their cycle kicks up again of people being mean to one another. And then it takes that one guy to create another cycle of maybe 4 or 5, 6, 1,000 people having a good day. So never underestimate the positive effect that your light can have in someone's life, and understand that sin is just walking around looking to infect whoever it can and have it just continue forward, right? And the chances are, if you're mean or cruel to someone, then they're going to want to go do that as well. And so that's why you want to try to be that lamp, okay? And not only that, Jesus goes further in that same chapter to say, you have heard the laws you have heard the law that says the punishment must match the injury, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say, do not resist an evil person. If someone slaps you on the right cheek, offer the other cheek also. If you are sued in court and your shirt is taken from you, give your coat too. Now, what is Jesus saying here? Should we just lie down and be pacifists? No, Jesus is not saying that. Okay, what Jesus is telling us in this example is he's saying, look, if you don't stop this behavior, if you're not the one who's strong enough to resist this behavior, what hope does the rest of the world have? If you're not willing to be the light, if you're not willing to be the lamp that stands on the table to drive out the darkness of the rest of the room, then what hope does the world have? Okay? And so that's what Jesus is calling us to do. He's not saying to lie down and let the person just continually slap you. But what he is telling you is that even though someone might be mean to you and say something rude, aka slap you in the face, sometimes the best thing you can do, and I would dare say all the time, is try to offer them a bit more grace in the other cheek and say, look, I don't want to continue forward with this behavior. I know that you're probably having a bad day, so let me try to help you out, man. What do you need to have a better day? Okay? And that will go a long way for that person feeling a lot better about their situation. But ultimately helping us break that cycle, which is what we want to do. We want to break that cycle and continue forward with positive behavior, with positive outcomes. And that only comes from us breaking that cycle. So that's it for today. I'm going to leave you guys with a nice little quote that some really smart dude came up with. Says, you can use the transgressions of your life to create a victim story or to lay the foundation of a hero's tale. Said by the great Charlie Mitchell. Dude must know what he's talking about. All right. That is something I want to leave you guys with, of if you feel like people have been transgressing against you your whole life. Well, a lot of people in this world, and when I say a lot, I mean everyone, is dealing with that. Everyone's dealing with these bad days happening. But you have a choice. That choice comes down to, are you going to let those be lessons in your life as to why you need to be more of that lamp, more of that light in people's worlds? Or are you going to be another person who just carries forward that disease, who carries forward that virus and lets it infect everyone else around you? Okay? I know it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but I am saying that it's something we should strive for every single day. Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, guys, for taking time to watch today's channel. If you made it to this point, you are fantastic. I do have an announcement video coming out soon of the merchandise line. I'm just working through some technical difficulties as usual on the back side of accounts and store designs and this and that. But we will be launching the Pondering Christian store here soon. So you guys will I'll have an announcement video for that and walk you through the designs and all that good stuff. So if you want to support the channel, that's going to be the best way. If you like today's content, share it to a friend, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. And I know there's some of you out there who are watching this video right now and you haven't subscribed. Do me a favor, please subscribe. That would be the biggest help, honestly. In the meantime, keep on pondering.